Oh,
That's
what do
why
you do?
Lori said you and your entire family can just spend the week with her.
Yeah. Well, you
She
know,
did say
in the
that.
basement. So we're good.
Unfinished.
So space heaters, what else? What else?
So no pressure, but I'm grateful for inspiring team meetings.
All right,
Cool.
no pressure at all. Thank you, whoever.
I'm grateful
Alright.
for doctors. that
You're
fix
grateful for
me.
doctors.
I can
Everyone, this is Kelly. He is done with course 1 and his 2 tests, and he's going to be joining us as soon as he's done with course 2 and course 3. All right, Lori, what you got?
I am grateful for our full training calendar.
Yes, very full training calendar. I cannot tell you guys how fun it is for me to see a full training room and all.
You've done a great job.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
So
it.
now until it stops snowing, so we can go to the tree.
So we can all go to the training.
Well, I've been here
Well, you can virtually.
14 years, and that's the most full I've ever seen that training calendar.
Awesome. Well, let's keep it that way, right? So
Yep.
keep the ideas coming, and thank you to the master faculty. All of these wonderful people up here. It's because of them that we are, allowed to be able to keep such a robust calendar. Yes, Jamie, welcome back. Yay! Welcome back for Jamie.
I'm grateful to be back with everybody here, former and new, and looking forward to growing my career even more.
Awesome. And we're looking forward to partnering with you and doing that. Welcome back. Who else? Yes, Megan.
I am grateful for the amazing people I get to be around here daily.
Aw, yes, get here.
Thank you.
Was that you, Jim? Any others?
I'm grateful for Clark Jones
Yeah.
for keeping company with me and in New Orleans and for going to the World War II.
I wonder who that's from.
Oh,
Aw, that
I felt
was so
sorry
nice.
for him.
Aw.
And he's the one who wrote this, so that's awesome.
Any more that we have in the room?
Thankful for the career seminars.
Yes, Carrie especially. Thankful for the career seminars. Yeah, she's had a couple of guests there, and I'm grateful for the career seminars. We've got a couple people. Carrie's one. Kelly, sorry, Kelly. Kelly is one. Kelly. Who came to the career seminar and is going to be licensed student. And we've got, I want to say, 3, maybe 4 more, kind of in that same situation. So.
We need a new parking lot. We need a.
You got that back? We need a new parking lot.
Okay, so I've already looked into this initiative and we have a bunch of bikes on order. Dual purpose. Okay,
Lines and
Is that part of the Green Deal or what?
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be tech enabled. They'll be autopiloted scooters and bikes.
All right, Trudy, I think you had one.
Yeah, one more. So showing love to Clark Jones again.
He just loves the attention, by the way. You should see his face up here. What was it for?
I am grateful for Clark Jones. Met with Jen W.'s buyer to go over inspection and rate.
What a guy. What a guy. You're the man. An awesome example of our
I
culture
think
here in the
it's
office.
Clark.
Oh, Clark.
Clark Square.
I still get tripped up on that with the two of you. All right, any more before we move on? One more. Okay, Jody.
I'm grateful for Amanda because she's my mom.
Aww. Aw, she needs to hear that. Someone maybe go share that. We'll give that to her after the meeting. Okay, awesome. All right, so I'm gonna go over just a couple things, then Nikki's gonna come up and give some updates. So who is sending their numbers in to Cindy for the March Madness contest? Anybody? You need to do that. Do you guys remember? You want me to remind you what's up for grabs? First place is admission to Bold, and Bold is starting on April 8th is the first step, and then the 22nd, I think, is day 1, and it's up in Bloomington at the Bloomington Event
So it's
Center.
just getting into the first step, or is it?
No, it's paying for your full Bold session. So first place is Bold. Second place is 6 months of your tech fee paid, and then third place is KW Swag. KW Swag. Yes.
One quick question, because I'm thinking the reason I haven't done this is because do I gotta send the whole file or something over to her, or like?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think you just sent her an email with, hey, just fully executed a contract, or hey, just listed. The rules of engagement, so to speak, are in the post on Facebook. I'll ask Christina, Nikki asked Christina to repost it again so that it's at the top and you guys can, maybe we'll pin it to the top, because you can pin it to the top of the post Facebook group. And then just read through there, and you just need to shoot her an email with whatever it is, and she's tracking it. So Jackie Dornick is in first place right now. Jill Roroff is in second place right now, and Team DeMayo is in third. right now,
So,
so.
really, I was like, just wrote down that I haven't sent anything.
Yeah,
so
well,
there we
someone's
go.
sending
Worked out.
it, yeah.
I'm like, wow, I gotta do that.
So keep the numbers coming, because we're running that through the end of March, so there's still lots of time to,
So you can gift your, if you win, you can gift it.
the Bolt?
Yeah.
Sure,
Okay.
yeah,
So you can give it
As
to someone
opposed
else.
to you going?
why
Yeah,
not?
you can gift it to someone else.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah, I love the way you're thinking, that's why he had 2 comments in the jar. All right, so Ignite, oh my gosh, you guys, we've got 16 people participating in Ignite. I get goosebumps when I say that, you know, that's really awesome to see all the participation in Ignite, and we've got people that are doing it remotely as well, and again, I just can't thank the master faculty and the Ignite instructors enough for being willing to step outside your comfort zone, because most of you have never taught Ignite before. And I would venture to say that those of you who are sitting in the classroom wouldn't have known otherwise, right? Because they're that phenomenal. So thank you for doing that. I'm super excited to see what June, July, and August look like in this Market Center, because what we're doing today shows up when? 90 days from now, right? So those of you that are participating in Ignite, those of you who are instructing Ignite, because you're benefiting from that too, right? They say the best way to learn something is to teach it. So what you're doing for yourselves and your businesses may not be readily apparent right now, but if you are truly committed to the activities that we ask you to do in Ignite, it's going to start showing up June, July, August, and I can't wait to see what this place looks like then. So thank you for supporting that and being a part of that. Nikki, you want to come up and kind of give some of your updates?
All right, on our calendar, we are at the 12th of March already, almost halfway through. Today we've got Aaron from, how do you say it, Howard?
Hayward.
Hayward, okay, and I kept wanting to put a Y in there. And he is gonna speak a little bit at the end of the meeting and give you some information about what he does and what he can do. And he also brought some fantastic lunch for you for after this meeting. So thank you very much and welcome. And tomorrow again, we have Ignite. Regional Career Visioning with Gene Rivers is tomorrow and Thursday. And that's
It's in Maple Grove. It's the Maple Grove Market Center. And for those of you, do you mind if I tell them what Ignite or what 306090 is? For those of you who aren't aware what that is, it will be coming again in the fall. But if you are at a place in your business where either you're looking at hiring an assistant or building a team, it is literally the roadmap that takes you to how to do all that and do that properly. If left to our own devices and human nature kicks in, typically what happens when we're looking to hire someone is we're hiring someone that is just like us, right? Because the high I's want to be hanging with the high I's, and the high D's, you know, they're all about the high D's and so forth. So what this class and this training does is they recommend that you take the KPA ahead of time and that you bring it with you, but it helps you through that process so that you can resist the urge of hiring someone just because they're like you rather than the right person for the job. Gary Keller always says slow to hire, quick to fire if it's not the right person. So the 30, the 60, and the 90, what that stands for is they also will give you the job profile for the team member that you're looking to add. And they're literally put on a 30, 60, 90-day plan. And so what Gene Rivers says, and I love Gene Rivers, one of the reasons why I'm super excited about going to this one, because he's one of my favorite KW instructors, is he'll say, if they're not cutting it after 30 days, don't take them to 90. Fire them within the first 30. You are rehiring them. They are re-interviewing for the job every 30 days until they make it through the 90th day. And so he just does a really excellent job in helping you kind of navigate that and protect you from yourself. So that is on Wednesday and Thursday. Katie, Zach, and I will all be out of the office those 2 days because we're all attending it together. So I think there's still some slots. If there's anybody that wants to last minute register, you certainly can. Just let Nikki or Katie know and we'll get you the link.
Yes, and if you do want to do that, let us know too, because we can get you that KPA quick to get that taken and bring that with you. So, and leading into Thursday then, while they are all gone, you can come in and maybe have a few laughs with Christina and I. It's National Pie Day. So we'll have some inner nerds coming out. We'll have some pie. It's always good. Friday, another Ignite, and I just love their chants that they do in the morning, even with the door closed, and I can hear it, and it just fires you up for the day. It's pretty fun. We do, in Mankato, they're going to be doing the How to Get Your Sellers to Fall in Love with You and career seminar as well.
So for those of you who may not be aware, we're incubating in Mankato right now. We've got about 3 agents right now. I did a career seminar there last month. There's 2 that are enrolling in school. So if you have folks that you know that are in that area that are either thinking about getting into real estate, or maybe they're somewhere else and maybe they're not happy or they're considering something else, just put them in touch with, one of us. Our goal, mine and Zach's goal, is for those of you who have already caught on, we've been doing monthly trainings at 125 Live. The next one is you're probably going to talk about in a minute.
I will.
So I don't want to
You
do
go right
it. So our goal is to be doing something there once a month, to be bringing value to not only our agents, but to be inviting co-op agents too, for you guys to be able to invite co-op agents too. And we're doing the same thing up in Mankato. We're doing at least 1 career seminar and 1 training event up in the Mankato area. So if you've got leads up that way that you can't work, don't want to work, know that we've got bodies up there that can help you. Yeah.
Also on Friday, we're going to do our St. Patrick's celebration here. So we'll have some corned beef and cabbage and some green beer. So come on in and have some lunch. Leading into next week, Ignite again on Monday. Tuesday is the 125 Live that Erin just mentioned, and that is the spring into action with lead generation that works. It's the perfect time of year to get that lead generation going. Did you want to talk on 125 Live for a minute?
Yeah, so the sole focus. The sole focus is on lead generation, which is the #1 thing, as we're learning in Ignite, that we should be doing every single day, right? Above all else, it should be that lead generation. So we are going to spend from 11 to 2 hammering down on that. Lunch is going to be served, so we have a sponsor for lunch, so come hungry, we will feed you. So yeah, if you can make it to that, let us know. We have an Eventbrite link in the closed Facebook group, and I believe the ladies emailed it out to everyone as well. If you can't find it, just ask for it or let one of us know and we'll register you ourselves.
And then that night again from 5 to 6, Erin will be doing a career seminar here again. Wednesday, another Ignite, ALC meeting from 11 to 12. And then we have our beach party potluck that day from 12 to 2. So it's a potluck. I saw Christina had sent out the link. Some people were not able to access it. I did grant that to you today that you can. So if you can't, it'll send me a notice for Christina that you can't access it, and I'll go ahead and do that. It's only if you don't have a KW email. Going to a Gmail is why it does that, and I'm working on to figure that out.
That's the thing, we eat well here.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And the ladies just decided we were done with this winter, so we were just bringing the beach and the
Yep.
party here.
That is the first day of spring, so we are going to try to coax Mother Nature into cooperating. And I did look out to, I think, like the 22nd, 23rd. I see 54, 55 for highs. So
It's coming.
we're going to do it. We're going to,
It's coming up.
that, it's a give and take, Megan.
Change the way you look at things.
There you
There you go.
The way that changes.
It's watering those spring bulbs.
Before March 23rd, that's what she said.
Yeah, that's what I said, exactly. So come dressed in whatever beach themes that you'd like, appropriately, of course. And we'll have a good time. And hopefully bring Mother Nature, coax her in. Thursday, another awesome master faculty class with Trudy and her Habit series. I'm super excited about that. That's from 11 to 12. And then Katie and I will be doing a boot camp again from 1 to 4. And that's the intro to the platforms, the systems, processes, just kind of what we do. And we'll just introduce. So if somebody is not sure on our different platforms, just come on to that.
Or if you just want a refresher.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. And then Friday, we've got Ignite again, Monday Ignite. And then we're back to another team meeting, and we have another command class that day from SAC from 12:30 to 2. And that's going to be on the command marketing and advertising. Highly recommend it. And actually, I think we have a lunch and learn to stick in between there that didn't make the calendar.
Boy, we do have a full calendar.
We
this
do.
month,
We have a
don't
lunch and learn from 12 to
Awesome.
12:30 that day. And that is,
Kim with HSA? Or is she next month?
it is either Kim or Jennifer.
Okay, one of the warranty
Yes.
representatives is going to be here.
Yes. So
And
we
do
do.
lunch. And for those ALC members, our meeting, there will be Ignite going on in here. So we booked, I believe, Amanda's conference room. That's where the ALC meeting is going to be next week. So
And that's
thank you, Nikki.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
There is one training event that I'm gonna kind of let the cat out of the bag a little early because I'm incredibly excited about this one. And like all of our training events, we want these to not only be opportunities for you, yourselves and your businesses, but opportunities for you to invite co-op agents too. Anybody know who Jeff Glover is? Google him. He's a mega agent out of Michigan who is associated and has ownership in several market centers. He's an OP. He has a huge Glover U company that he runs as well. He's coming to Rochester on May 17th, and he is going to pour into us for 3 hours from 1 to 4. We've booked a room at 125 Live, and the topic of his training that day is how he went from 0 to 100 listings in a year. So that is going to be an amazing class that you do not want to miss, and it's free. So make sure that you book that date if you can. It's the 17th, which I think is a Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a Friday.
From 1 to 4. So y'all will want to be at that if you can. They are working on putting together a flyer and some information that we can email out to everyone and post all over, social media that will describe in more detail what he'll be going over that day. So awesome. All right.
Can I quick do this?
Yes, please.
Okay. So Trudy and Jennifer and myself are part of the strategic marketing plan, and one of the kind of veins that we're focusing on is, of course, marketing to other agents in town. And we always say we have to tell our story, right? And so that doesn't mean we have to spend $5 grand on a video and put it out there. Sometimes telling our story one word or one phrase at a time is just as effective, and because it comes from each of us, we'll each have a different word. So if I were to ask you, why do you love Keller Williams? What's a word? I mean, I'm thinking culture, education, you might have a different word. So what we want to do when we start every meeting is everyone jump on your Facebook right now, put your word,
Grab your phone.
and then hashtag why I love KW. And that is literally it. So
Okay, so we're gonna choose a word and just
on your personal page or your business page, whatever splatters out to everybody.
Okay.
So when you create your post.
I love this, you guys. This is such a great idea.
So we're just gonna put on our post why I love
Yep.
KW.
So for me, I put education. And the next line, do your hashtag.
I love this because y'all know I'm a crazy Facebook poster. So I love it. Great idea.
And I found that if you do the YI, the I needs to be a lowercase, otherwise the I and the L for love kind of look the same.
Why love.
I know. Why love in KW. And let's share it and let's see if.
Tag me in it. I want it all over my page.
So I got mine in it.
I got mine in.
So if we do this, every team meeting, that's twice a month, every ALC meeting.
I love it.
So we've got a lot of telling our story one word at a time going out. So my word's going to be different than your words. What was your word, Kelly?
Integrity.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who else had a word? Shout them out.
Opportunity.
Oh, I stole yours, so it is the same.
Education.
Training.
I did culture.
Great leadership.
I got it.
Hey, that's the idea. Super
Yeah,
simple.
I love
There
it.
we go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And what a perfect tie-in to what I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about. For those who are at family reunion, you guys may or may not have heard Mo talk about the 4 pillars of culture and the foundation, of our company, which is our culture. I got a couple of coffee cards up for grabs. Anybody in here, is there anyone in here without looking, without Googling, who can tell me what the 4 pillars of our culture are? What are the 4 pillars? Or give me one. The first person to give me one pillar. Family. No. So I love that we're doing this exercise because guess what? We're going to talk about it because this allows us to tell our story, right? Yeah. So I'll give you a hint. There is something hanging on the wall in here. It's one of our pillars.
The TV.
Y4C.
Yeah. Y4C 2 T's. All right. So the Y4C2Ts, does anyone, maybe Jim, since you're the one that shouted out, want to explain what that means exactly?
This is a Starbucks.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
He's very confused. He's like, what?
Yeah.
One Lord,
So what are the Y4C2Ts? What do they stand for?
stands for our beliefs.
Yeah.
They regulate that.
So win-win or no deal, integrity, Kelly's word, do the right thing. Customers always come first, commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. That can be a tough one sometimes, can't it? I know I have to remind myself of that. Stay in curiosity, Aaron, stay in curiosity. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. I think we're a prime example of that here in this office. Trust starts with honesty, and success results through people. So those are the Y4C2Ts. Any other guesses? We have 3 more pillars of culture at Keller Williams.
Where's the words?
In there. So it's our MVVBP. So our mission, vision, values, and perspective. So our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, and lives worth living. We talk about that, right? Vision, to be the real estate company of choice. Perspective, Keller Williams thinks like a top producer, acts like a trainer consultant, and focuses all its activities on service, productivity, and profitability. So that is our MVVBP.
Didn't they revise the mission to add legacies worth leaving?
Yeah, and they did. That's not on there. And of course, the values. Did I skip over that? I did. God, family, business. All right, so we have 2 more. 2 more.
Is one give, care, share?
Give, care, share. We taught about, whoever in the room was at the first session of Ignite, I taught about this topic. There are 6 arms to it.
Oh, profit share?
Nope.
6 personal perspective.
You got it. What are they, Kelly? Do you know?
I don't. I
Put you on the
took a class
spot.
A while ago, but I don't.
Okay. So I'll show you. Oh, you're fine. Commitment to self-mastery, right? The importance of commitment to self-mastery. So I'm going to nail it. You're going to master this, right? Commit to the what principle?
80-20.
The 80-20. What does that mean, Melissa?
You see 80% of your results, 20% of your efforts?
So you're going to focus on the
those
20%, which is
activities
typically
that
what?
Lead gen.
Lead gen, right? So if you focus on the 20%, the rest will come. All right? Move from E to P. Who knows what that means?
Move from entrepreneurial to purposeful.
Yep. So you want to break through that ceiling. Commit to our systems and our models and our training. E-learning based. This one, super important to me. I always want to be learning. I always want to, be sharpening my skill set, so to speak. I'm willing to be taught and pursue learning. Sarah Vicks was in here the other day, and she said, iron sharpens iron. I love that thing because it's so true. It's so true. You surround yourself with people who are also, learning-based and growth-minded. It's eventually going to rub off on you. Remove limiting beliefs. Who struggles with that one from time to time? I think we all do, right? So be positive. Remove those limiting beliefs. And the last one, which can sometimes be the most difficult when you're an independent contractor, and that is be accountable, right? If you can't do that for yourself, find someone who will help you do that. All right, last pillar. This one I didn't learn about or realize it was one of our pillars until I went to family reunion and they talked about it. There is a flyer hanging in the office somewhere with this on it. And it's our 52 items of what is culture. Okay, so I'll read some of them. Following the model. Staying home if you're having a bad day attitudinally. Help me.
Attitudinally.
Attitudinally. Did I say that right? Okay. Compliment others regularly, being considerate of the market center staff. Considering the other person's viewpoint before responding. Consistently lead generating for 3 hours a day. I'm looking for the 7 hugs a day. Did they take that off? One of my favorite ones. Speaking without profanity, living up to the covenant if you're on the ALC, paying your market center bills on time, following the model. So there's 52 items here, and what we decided as a leadership group at our leader huddle this week is because there's 52 weeks in a year, you will start to see posts with regard to, we're going to pick a culture theme of the week, and we're going to highlight it, and we're going to do our best to live whatever that item is for that week, around the market center, at home, with your clients, because it'll just be, I think, a really good reminder for all of us to, be practicing these things daily. So if you guys want to take one of these and hand them out, I've got flyers on the 4 pillars for you. Why do you guys suppose that, or let me ask you this, if culture is important to you, why is it important to you? What sorts of things does it do for you as a person, for your business?
I think if you don't like where you work, your work environment is not lifting and good, you don't want to be here, right? You don't want to come here. So if we can all help lift each other, we're all going to want to be here, which is going to make our businesses and our lives better.
Right. Althea.
I think it sets you apart.
Absolutely. I met with a recruit last week and again today. And one of the reasons why we're meeting is because they have just grown complacent where they're at. It's not a bad place where they're at, but they're looking to be inspired when they come to work every day. And they're looking for good energy. And they're looking for trainings and coaching that they can tap into. And that is something I think that we sometimes take for granted here, right? Because I tell people all the time, it's almost a bad thing if you start at Keller Williams. And what I mean by that is you don't realize how good you have it. Versus when you start at another company, first, and then you eventually make your way here, you understand the difference. It's crystal clear. So we have something really special here, and it goes to telling our story, right? And sharing that story and not being afraid. I think there was a point in time where, we were Keller Who when we first came to the market, and it was like, oh, Keller Williams, they're a multi-level marketing scheme, you're drinking the Kool-Aid, whatever the case may be. And, so I think there were agents initially that would sort of shy away from telling our story, right? Because they were fearful of, the negative comments that would come. And, I'm all about shouting it from the rooftops loud and proud. I couldn't be any more excited to be a part of this company and surrounded by great business people. So,
Can I just share something?
Please do.
Quick? This is just a little tidbit about Megan. When Megan and I have been friends for a long time, and when she was doing mortgages, we'd met a couple times and talked about it. And I remember telling her about Keller Williams and why I was here, and Megan had the same comment. Like, it's all about profit, that whole
they turn you into
thing,
recruiters.
blah, 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 and I've talked to a couple other agents, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm so thrilled that Megan's actually here and gets it and is passing that word on. I remember those first couple of conversations. Because you didn't know what you didn't know, right? And so that changed actually very quickly for me when Keller was so old in that place. Jason Gordon came down and talked, and I was with Chaz Wilson's team. Yeah. So I would go to a lot of those. And the spreadsheet that he did, like, how much money do you want to make by the end of the year? You put it in here, and then boom, 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 boom. This is how many people you have to call tomorrow. And I went,
And the fact that he shared it with you, right? Without any expectation.
And after that, I was a huge advocate for Keller because I saw so many people that, went to sales training, and I knew how I was in sales. And if I went to my boss and I was like, I'm slow, call your friends and family, call your friends and family, call your friends and family. Yeah, I did that yesterday. Now what? and Keller was the only one that taught you how to run a business and treat it like a business and know your numbers and understand your numbers. And from when I got my license, Kelly was the first person also that in the industry or even remotely connected to the industry that I told I was thinking about getting my license. So
we had a conversation and then she said, well, obviously, you know, we really like Keller, but, you know, that is what it is. And it's, oh yeah, no, I'm already going to Keller. I mean, I
That's a
was,
foregone conclusion. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Carrie, for bringing, you know, the fact to light that, you know, we need to do a better job, I think, of telling our story. So you're going to start to see some things, you know, within the Market Center from leadership where we're, you know, going to be trying things and working on, you know, creating what is our story? You know, what is our value proposition? What is it that sets us apart from the competition? So other than culture, what are some of the things that you guys can think about that sets us apart from, you know, some of the other brokerages? Education, training, #1 training company in the world across all mediums, not just real estate, right? What else?
Technology blows everything else out of the water.
Our technology that we're all taking classes on and learning about.
Lower fees.
Lower fees, lower fees. Profit share. Does that set us apart from our competition? Yeah. What else?
I think the caring and sharing, definitely. You know, we're not afraid to help other agents, whether they're here or somewhere else.
So the collaboration and open masterminding, right? What else? Yeah, Jim.
Just a comment, on St. Patrick's Day, it's our 12th anniversary, but you don't have to be dizzy to come to Keller Williams. That makes sense.
You
St.
lost-
Patrick's Day.
Oh, gotcha. Good point, duly noted. So the point of this is, yeah, just to remind you guys, have the conversations, let's share our story with one another, you know, with folks outside of the Market Center as well. All right, so the last thing that I wanted to just talk about a little bit before I turn the floor over to Aaron, who has brought us lunch, is what are some of the things that you guys are seeing in the market right now, as far as like multiple offer situation, days on market, value? What are some of the things that you guys have been seeing recently? And are you feeling the shift yet? And is it, you know, is it to the degree that we were all so worried about it being? So I'm just curious to hear what you guys are seeing out in the marketplace right now.
so I had I got a listing under contract that I listed in November. Started at 260, dropped down to 255. I mean, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, and it took till March to sell it. And there were drawbacks. The backyard wasn't that great, and the access from the garage to the house, you actually had to go outside. You know, it wasn't connected. So, but the house was in, you know, great shape, and it's not that old, and it's something that would have sold in multiple offers 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I listed one last Monday for 230,000.
Went like that?
No,
Still sitting?
well, I mean, a week.
Okay.
But still, you know, and they'd already made an offer that was accepted on the property, and that realtor called me, and I told him, I said, I thought we would have a slew of showings. And he's like, aren't you? No. So we've had 5. I mean, you know, and then I think we had 3 more scheduled over the weekend or something, but it wasn't, I mean, it definitely wasn't like, oh my gosh, they're back to back and they couldn't go home. And so, and then when we got the offer, the sellers almost just said no, because it was so low. And it was only a $230,000 house to begin with.
Is anyone else experiencing something similar to that? Yeah. So houses are sitting longer?
I would say the weather has been a huge factor in what the market is doing, especially because every weekend we either have a storm or like a polar vortex going on. And so you just kind of have that sense of this pent up market that's ready to explode now that
And they can't get stuff done either.
well, right.
They can't get stuff done on their house. They can't, because they can't do anything on the weekends, and then no one wants to go look at a house on the weekend, and you just want to stay on the couch.
So I think we're in this funny little bubble.
It's kind of funky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because Jill Roroff put a listing on, I think last weekend, it sold immediately. So I'm hearing both sides of the coin. Is that what's going through your mind right
It has
now?
a lot to do with location and condition.
Yeah.
And the sellers who I'm talking with and listing, those sellers that do everything that I ask them to do, and they do it, they're getting multiple offers or offers immediately. But buyers are picky.
So just
And
making
they're not-
sure that we're
they're not
advising
just-
the sellers to put their best foot forward.
Exactly. They're not just shooting from the hip. they're being very careful what they're making offers on. So I think it's really important to price right, have the condition to match that price, and there are still lots of buyers in the market.
Well, and so what's kind of interesting is I had always heard, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I had always heard that Rochester was a little bit more insulated when the market shifted because, because of what you have here, Mayo, right? And so it's interesting for me to hear this because we're still conducting business up in the cities, the Duckworths. And I did a couple CMAs this weekend and I was blown away at what they came in at. They were much higher when I looked at the comps than what I would have significantly higher than I thought they were going to come in at. So it's sort of interesting because you would think it would be reversed, that you guys would be experiencing more of that here and we'd be experiencing less of that. So I suppose everything's cyclical, right?
But now to that, I've met the last couple of sellers that I've met with, think their houses are when I come back with my CMA numbers, they think I'm low. And I can show them the comparables, but they think that it should be higher. So I think some of those sellers who are getting on the bandwagon of last year and what was going on, think that now they can just throw a price out there and educating your clients saying, we're not in that market anymore. And
setting those
we've gotta
appropriate
justify.
expectations ahead of time. A script that I use a lot for what I call overly optimistic sellers is there was a time, for those of you who have been in the business for a while, there was a time where we would look at Lori tax assessed value, average price per square footage, average appreciation, and what the comps are saying. Those were the four, right? And we would kind of figure them all out, take an average of the four. And so when I've got that overly optimistic seller, I'll say, here's the deal. All that's out the window when the market went south. And so the tried and true, I'm having difficulty today. I have not started with the green beer yet. Promise, start early. The tried and true are the comps. At the end of the day, it's what's in black and white. And how I'm able to get them around pricing too high is I'll say, the appraiser is going to pull their comps from the same place that we do. And if I can't find comps to support the value that you feel your home is worth, then I know they're not going to be able to. And if you have another agent that's coming in here and telling you that it's worth $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 higher than what I am, then you need to ask them to take a look at the comps and how old are the comps? Ask more questions.
And are they true comps?
And are they true comps? Have you experienced that recently?
Yeah, I will say when I had a listing, that they wanted to go higher at what I was saying. I said, okay, I'll give you guys a few minutes and we'll go out to the garage and let you guys discuss because they were arguing and I was like, for a while. And I called you.
I was gonna say this sounds familiar.
I called you and you were like, this is what you're gonna say. And I was like, okay, got it. Hung up and the garage reeked like smoke. So I go back in and they smell my clothes and I smell like smoke and I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna say it. And so I said all of what you just said and they were like, okay, fine, we'll go with the price.
Awesome.
Great.
Did you sell it?
Yes.
Nice. Nice work.
I just had one, and
Good job.
I thought we were at the high rate, because they said, yeah, no, we want to go with that higher rate. We got multiple offers, and it went for $20,000 over
Well,
list
that's
price.
you know what?
No, the market.
And it's crazy.
Real estate is as much of an art as it is a science.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we just hit and miss. I mean, sometimes I can't explain it. The ones that I worry about appraising somehow magically are fine, and the ones that I'm not even thinking twice about, all of a sudden we have an issue.
Yeah.
So, all you can do is your very best.
Or things that you don't think are a thing.
Yeah.
You go through the house and then even the seller just like, well, do we need to change this? And you're like, no.
Yeah.
That part, and then all of a sudden that's your feedback, and they're like, you said we didn't. Seriously, this hasn't been an issue. I mean,
Jamie, did you want to add something?
Do you think that this estimate is playing a role in that as far as why homeowners are coming in?
all I have to do when I have a homeowner that wants to talk about his estimate is I'll say, do me a favor. I want you to Google the article of the gentleman who owns Zillow. And there's an article that talks about what his estimate was and what his home ultimately sold for. I want you to read that article and then I'll re-engage you in this conversation.
The other part of my question was, have you asked them why whether where they're at, where they got their, whether
Yeah.
where they're at.
Absolutely. Yeah, just don't be afraid to dig a little deeper and ask a couple more questions. It's interesting how with just an extra question or two, it opens up an entirely new world of information that you weren't privy to and you would not have been had you not asked that extra question. So with that, Aaron, can I get you to come up here? Let's give Aaron a round of applause for being lunch today. And
That's all I gotta do for
Aaron works for an accounting firm, owns an accounting firm.
I work for an
It's
accounting
part of an
firm,
accounting
and-
firm. And so, who needs accounting firms in their life and their businesses? All of us should be raising our hand. So I am gonna give you the floor, sir, and thank you for lunch. Katie is gonna come in and wrap up because Zach and I have an appointment. So thank you. Thank you, guys.
Just gonna give,
Have a great day.
one of these for a table to kind of share.
Thanks, Aaron.
So I work with a company locally here in Rochester called Hayworth and Company. We've been around 30 years. We've been in Rochester for 10. And basically we've got a team of 2 full-time CPAs, 3 full-time bookkeepers, and payroll specialists within our office. In the 10 years we've been in Rochester here, both our accountants have been there for the full 10. 2 of the 3 bookkeepers have been there for the full 10. Our 3rd bookkeeper has been there for 5 to 10. So we've got a real good team. We work specifically only with small and mid-sized businesses, self-employed people, landscapers, car repair people, veterinarians, animal hospital, or be a veterinarian, I guess, animal hospital. But, we work with all kinds of different professions, I guess is what I'm getting at. We're a little different in the fact that we work with our clients on a monthly basis. So instead of just our clients coming in, giving us their financials, we give them a report that shows, you know, their balance sheet, profit, loss, and all the stuff that they need to keep them compliant with their banker and all the different areas of life that they need to have their financials in order for. We actually take it a step further. So what we do is a lot of the information in this flyer just handed out. First thing we do is we reconcile their checkbook form, which is something people just don't do nowadays. You know, no one balances their checkbook. They go online and do I have money in here? Yep. Okay, I must be making money. If it's negative, I must be losing money. You know, that literally is how a lot of our, you know, people in businesses will gauge if they're doing well or not. So we reconcile the book. First thing it does, it takes care of, if you're a retail business, it's going to get rid of all the sticky fingers. So you're going to be able to, you know, flush out right away if people are stealing money from you and kind of keeps, you know, people honest that way. The next thing we do is we're going to get access to their QuickBooks. Some accountants only view type deals, same with their bank statements. So none of our clients have to really go out of their way to give us this information. We all are able to gather it remotely. So take the next information we get, we put it into, you know, a standard profit loss and balance sheet form and compile those numbers. And that kind of tells the story of the business, whether or not you're making money. And, you know, it's, again, something that any typical accountant can do, but it's that information that we take that really separates us from the rest of the pack. Is now we dive into that from our end of it. So we look at employee expenses, you know, utility costs, supply costs. We start really diving into all that stuff and then looking for, you know, if your labor costs are maybe steadily rising, you wouldn't necessarily notice it. We're going to pick that out right away and have a conversation about it. And we communicate monthly with our clients. So instead of just sitting there and waiting, you know, to the end of the year to put your stuff to the IRS, you know, at year end, we are going to jump on it. We're all about planning ahead, being proactive, and trying to make sure that, you know, we're making our clients, you know, the best dollar that they possibly can, making them as much money as we possibly can. Our 3 principles that we work off of are, A, we want you to pay as little in taxes as legally possible. You know, so we'll keep you out of prison, and you know, we'll use every legal loophole that we possibly can that is set up, you know, for our business owners. 2, you know, how do our business owners get as much money out of their business without being taxed, you know, heavily on it, which is a big problem. You know, if you're a corporation, it's sometimes hard to get the money out of the business without having to pay a ton of taxes on it. So we look at creative ways to get that money pulled out. And then 3, we want to work and come up with a plan. You know, if it's an elder, you know, say it's a contractor who's been in the business for 40 years and he wants to get out, so he's looking at an exit strategy. We're going to work with them towards that exit strategy to make sure you get out, you know, and either turn the company over or dissolve the company, however he wants to do it. You know, we're going to work with them to achieve that goal. So basically, from point A to point B, whatever that may mean for our specific clients, we're going to help them navigate and get to that specific goal. So that's kind of what we base our 3 principles off of. We also will look at, you know, how you're structured corporately. You know, does that make the most sense? You know, you might be an LLC, but you're filing a C, you know, Schedule C on your tax return. So it's boring tax talk, I get it, but you know, is that the best way to do it? So I mean, we literally look at everything from top to bottom. So let's see, payroll. We also offer payroll for companies. We will offer either payroll, and that's included filing their quarterly, like 940, 941s for the FICA tax for their employees, stuff like that. We're going to take care of all that stuff for them. State, federal tax payments quarterly, that's included in our payroll as well. But I don't know, I hate to stand and be the only guy stuck, you know, standing in the way of lunch right now. So, but in a nutshell, it's kind of what we do. We're a company that comes in, kind of acts as a CFO for our clients. We certainly, at the end of the day, they're driving the ship. You know, we're just kind of helping them navigate it through the water. They own the business. It's ultimately their decision to do what they do, when they do it, what they want to do. We're just going to say, hey, if you do X, Y, Z, it's going to say the ABC. That's pretty much kind of the bottom line. We're very much engaged in what goes on with our clients. We're not just to come through our door, drop your information off, and then wait for us to hand it back to you. Kind of firm. We're proactive. We're going to be involved and looking out for people's bottom dollars. So I just kind of wanted that. Clark actually turned me on to this, you know. Not that he needed more accolation than but I appreciate, you know, him inviting me or giving me the opportunity to turn me on to this and coming out and, you know, get in front of you guys today. I know we're all self-employed here in this room, and you know, obviously we're all in business development and deal with a lot of people. So yeah.
Thank you. You mentioned QuickBooks. We use QuickBooks. Keller Williams has a standard accounting system for the QuickBooks, where some has too. Do you use that? I mean, you access our QuickBooks. Our current accountant does. You just give them the code and they go in.
Yep. Yep. So it's probably an online version that you're using. We just get the QuickBooks. You know, I think you can only have one accountant only view access to it at a time. So we have to, whoever has that access, we gotta cancel that one out and come in and, you know, extract information. But yeah, that's something we do it all the time. I'd say 90% of our businesses nowadays that we work with are all using QuickBooks. So we're pretty well versed in it. It's compatible with all of our accounting software that we use in the office to generate the reports that you guys are looking at in most books right now.
In your experience, what it, oh, sorry, Jim. No, go ahead.
Do you have a fee structure for types of business?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. So what we do is everything is transactional based. So we look at basically the checkbook. How many transactions are we reconciling each month for our clients? And that kind of drives the rate. So if it's a smaller, you know, I would say from a fee standpoint, you know, we range anywhere from like probably $200 a month on the low end all the way up to over $1,000, depending on how big the company is and how much we're doing for them. Most average, you know, like if you're a typical auto repair body guy, shop comes in or a landscaper, we're probably in that the $250 to $350 a month range. And that's going to take care of all their financials for them and put everything in order. We're going to, like I said, balance checkbooks for them. Get them all the information the bank needs, and we'll forward all that stuff on to them, whatever we gotta do. We're pretty flexible. We can work on. So. Good. Is that your question?
Yeah.
End of year taxes are a separate fee on top of the everyday.
Yeah, so that, so in addition to the, and I keep talking that we work with our clients on a monthly basis, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be that way. I mean, there's a lot of our clients who do quarterly. It just depends on the business's need, you know, how we structure that, how we work with them. So, but to Clark's point, the year-end taxes are separate. It's a separate fee, you know, but we know right away ahead of time what that's going to be. So we go on and we can pull it out what our fees are. Typically, we can do an entire year's worth of accounting, including our monthly service, for what a lot of accountants charge just for the year-end tax fee alone, especially in this market, you know, given some of the different firms that are in town. So we're very comparable. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Smith Schaefer. They're a pretty high-end accountant in town here. We do a lot of the same. We're very similar to what they do, but I know our fees are almost half of what they charge in most cases. So.
And you're located where?
We are on South Broadway, 1903 South Broadway, kind of key corner across the street from John Hardy barbecue shack down there. There's a little office building next to the Rochester Hotel, Rochester, and I think we're inside that building. So I'll pass my cards around, so if anyone wants to together.
Well, if you guys haven't, I mean, our whole point here is that we teach people how to run a business. If you haven't had a conversation with an accountant, it's certainly worth it just to at least say, you know, shall I set my business up as an LLC or an S corp, or ask those typical questions so that you're putting your best foot forward. So I would highly recommend it if you haven't had that conversation.
Yeah, and it's a great point, and we don't need to necessarily, you know, have you sign up to be a monthly client to do that. And a lot of that is just initial, you know, consultation, you know, type stuff that, you know, for a couple $100, you know, we can get all that stuff hammered out and get you set up and started on the right track. And then as you continue to grow and your demands grow, then you readdress, you know, decide what's best for our clients that way. So that's one thing, you know, a lot of our people that are with us, you know, they love us because we're not trying to, you know, we're not trying to constantly upsell them, you know, and we're not trying to, you know, give them a supersizer fry every time you come into our door and, you know, give them stuff that they don't necessarily need. It's just what's going to be best for that business. You know, we're very upfront and honest about it. And, you know, if we do recommend something, it's probably because there is a reason we're recommending it. It just makes sense for them. But again, at the end of the day, they're the ones that are behind the driver's seat. So they're driving and we're just, hey, if you go this way, it's a little easier, but if you think that's a shortcut, good luck, you know? Anyhow. So thanks again, guys, for letting me come in here and just saying a few words. And I was supposed to come here a couple weeks ago, and Weather had something to say about that.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in. I have extra cards. Here. I'll leave them right here. Thank you for lunch.
Yeah, thank you.
So much.
No problem.
I forgot you were coming in.